And we're live. Hello and welcome to the Football Podcast for Saturday, 26th of September. I'm joined as always by Sir Adam Glau to discuss the hottest stories surrounding the footballing world.
Hello, Theo. It is a pleasure to be here. And without further ado, let us commence this podcast.
Indeed, in today's edition of the Football Podcast, we'll be covering everything from transfers to results from Premier League games today.
Before we continue, if you're enjoying our content, we would really appreciate a like, subscribe, and if you could turn on that notifications bell, it would be great. But we do go on to the Premier League results, with Brighton losing at home 3-2 against Man U. Crystal Palace also losing at home 2-1 to Everton, and Chelsea just about clinching a point against West Brom away from home in a thrilling 3-3 draw. Theo, your thoughts?
We'll start at the South Coast with Brighton versus Manchester United. That was a cracking game. Brighton hitting the post or the woodwork of the frame about, I think, 4 times. Super unlucky. Had so many opportunities. Manchester United, really, all their defensive frailties really being exposed there, and just reality check on how well they were doing post-lockdown, all the goals they were scoring, but just hits home how they have a long way to come still. Solly March did get a late equalizer in the 95th minute, but Manchester United were bailed out with a familiar goal from Bruno Fernandes from, you guessed it, the penalty spot. Manchester United got the most penalties in Europe's top 5 leagues last year, with recording over 20 spot kicks. And they've got one here, bailed out in the 100th minute of the game, last kick of the game.
Against stoppage time.
Yeah, deep into stoppage time, exactly. Beyond stoppage time, actually. Complaint over whether the corner leading to the goal, whether it should have been, whether the corner being won, that play leading up to that, whether that should have even gone on. But it went on, and Manchester United edged out, bailed out from a spot kick in the 100th minute, last kick of the game. Crystal Palace, Everton continuing their 100% record, 9 points, and again, I'm not gonna spare thought to Everton winning the Premier League, as they're still top of the league. We might spare thought though if they're top of the league in February. It's very early days, and they haven't faced a top side yet. But again, they've been really brilliant, and all credit to Ancelotti. So a 2-1 win over there, and then West Brom Chelsea. Again, another big side playing really shockingly. And here, as a Chelsea fan, as you knew, found out last podcast, if you know already, it was just so poor. Every time I watch Chelsea get the ball, Havertz just lethargic, opportunities missed, Abraham misplacing passes, Conte. Oh, it was just depressing. I mean, it was really, really depressing just watching them play. I've never seen a team lacking so much conviction and motivation. I kind of just want, this is a bit extreme, I kind of just want to rip some of those players' contracts right now. It's just really annoying. I mean, obviously I'm saying this as a Chelsea fan, but from any perspective, from my point of view, it just really agitates you, just watching them attack and defend.
Even as a Liverpool fan, it was not great to watch, I'm not going to lie. In this game, it was a neutral perspective. But really, Chelsea looked on the ropes against the sides that should not be causing any trouble for such a strong and powerful team. But you're right, it was quite abysmal, frankly.
Yeah.
And I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, nor do I.
Anyway, that takes us away from the Premier League results and on to some transfers now. Wolverhampton Wanderers did sign Nelson Semedo for $25 million. I think for a player of his quality, that's very much a steal. And he should help brings and aid Adama Traore, let him go up on the right flank, and he will, I'm sure, fill in that right back spot very well. And also, another Portuguese player in Nuno Espirito Santo's side.
Yeah.
Theo, what do you think?
Well, all credit to Nuno here. We're not going to disrespect Matt Doherty in any way, but Nelson Semedo is the better right back. Matt Doherty did an absolutely fantastic job. Such an amazing attacking player. I was very sad to see him in a Tottenham shirt. It was really sad, and well, all credit to Nuno here for replacing him with a better player. Obviously, I think they could have easily. I think they could have easily signed Nelson Semedo for the same price that Doherty should have been sold for. I think Doherty could have gone for about $30 million. They could have pushed for that amount. Let him go too cheaply, but hey, brilliant business from Nuno again. Always signs the right player. No one flops under Nuno Espirito Santo. And another Portuguese player, so all ticks there from Wolves' transfer business.
Yup. And that takes us on to Chelsea, who we were just talking about. And they finally did manage to sign Eduard Mendy as a replacement for Kepa. Substantially cheaper price tag, $22 million, a fraction of the colossal fee they paid for Kepa. It was really needed. Chelsea, we mentioned a couple of podcasts ago that they'd been taking time with their business, but this deal was quite snappy. Didn't take them too long. Maybe it's because it was a cheaper player, but they did well. What do you think, Theo?
Yeah, this one moved a lot faster, as you said, Adam. And just because, obviously, less obstacles, really. Less issues. Smaller player, smaller fee. Though I do think he's a very imposing keeper. Very tall, very physical, good leader, good voice back there. I think he has a much great... He encourages confidence in his center backs. And I think... if I was Thiago Silva and Christensen, I know which goalkeeper I'd want behind me if I had the choice between Kepa, Caballero, or Eduard Mendy. I think the choice is rather obvious given the form of those two. Caballero led in a rather cheap one against Callum Robinson inside 4 minutes. And also a pretty cheap one, the second, actually, I was quite disappointed with. His positioning was actually off. If you look at behind the goal camera view, you'll actually see that his left foot was in line with the post, in line with the right post from the other side of the view, the left post from behind the goal, and really just showing Callum Robinson across goal, and it was a simple finish, really. 39 years of age, I think. Caballero. 28 years old, Eduard Mendy. Still got a lot of years left in him. Not as many as Kepa does, but definitely a much better goalkeeper. So, looks good for Chelsea, despite the poor performances, but this will reduce the amount of goals they concede. And that takes us on to Arsenal. And they're looking to sell Lucas Torreira to find a deal for Thomas Partey. As Aouar to Arsenal looks increasingly unlikely, as the Lyon president has said that he expects Aouar to play for them this season and the next season in the future. So, Adam, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, they're different players, frankly. Aouar is more offensive, likes to go forward, doesn't contribute as much defensively, whereas Partey is more of a conventional centre mid, less of a cam, distributes the ball very well, general box-to-box engine. And I'd say Torreira is more like Partey than Aouar, if I had to, maybe even more defensive than Partey. But I think that definitely Partey, he's shown his hunger and will to play against big teams, and I think he could help Arsenal a lot. And let's see, Arsenal have historically been a club that's not been the best with their business, but you never know. This could be a good one for them.
Yeah.
Theo, anything else to add?
Well, Thomas Partey, I think, would be a very good signing for them. They've kind of needed that presence in the midfield to match Danny Ceballos there. Or perhaps a replacement for him if they don't decide to buy him on permanent. So, there you go. That would conclude our podcast. Any final words, Adam?
Nope. As we said earlier, don't forget to like and subscribe. But it's goodbye from me and goodbye from Theo, I presume.
Yep. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.